Imagine the roar of San Francisco's Chase Center fading to a hush. Carlos Alcaraz, fresh off his US Open triumph, racket in hand, eyes blazing with that unbreakable fire, steps onto the Laver Cup court, only for Andre Agassi to flash a sly grin from the sidelines and whisper a tactic straight out of the 90s, chip charge. But wait, the real gut punch. Pat Rafter chimes in, smirking that Alcaraz might still be nursing a hangover from his victory parade, leaving the young phenom exposed like never before in this transatlantic showdown. Is this the crack in the armor of tennis's new king, or just mind games from legends plotting Team World's revenge? Smash subscribe now for Laver Cup exclusives that slice through the spin, your ace in the tennis game. The Laver Cup 2025 ignites in San Francisco with Carlos Alcaraz anchoring Team Europe, his perfect singles record, 5 wins from 5, hanging like a challenge flag over the blackcourt battlefield. Yet, as Yannick Noah and Tim Henman rally their squad, whispers from the opposing dugout carry the weight of history. Andre Agassi, the stoic captain with 8 majors etched into his legacy, drops the bombshell in a pre-event huddle. When grilled on cracking Alcaraz's code, he deadpans chip charge, that old-school net rush gambit evoking his own battles against Sampras under the lights. The room erupts in knowing chuckles, but beneath the banter lies a razor-sharp probe. Alcaraz, at 22, dominates with blistering baseline rallies and athletic leaps that swallow errors whole, yet Agassi's quip hints at uncharted frailty, a nod to the mental grind post-US Open glory where celebrations blur into fatigue. Storytelling swells here. Picture young Carlos, mentored by Juan Carlos Ferrero, arriving stateside after outlasting Fritz in last year's Berlin decider, only to face ghosts of the game in Agassi's piercing gaze. Rafter, the 2-time US Open champ turned tactician, amplifies the taunt, admitting his struggle to sell the chip charge to skeptical stars like Taylor Fritz and Alex de Minaur. He jests, "Yeah, I am having a bit of trouble trying to convince my players that chip charge does work, probably not on this court though," before pivoting to the heart. Let's just hope that he had a good week off after the US Open, and he hasn't recovered. The words land like a topspin lob, exposing Alcaraz's potential chink, recovery from a grueling 5-set epic where he dropped just 1 set all tournament, his body a machine but his mind perhaps adrift in triumph's afterglow. Key matchups loom, Alcaraz likely opening Saturday against Fritz, the rematch from 2024's Thriller, where Europe's 13-8 aggregate lead teeters on this vulnerable edge. Legends like John McEnroe and Bjorn Borg, advisory voices for their teams, nod in agreement, McEnroe's fiery quips echoing his own Laver Cup captaincy rants. Alcaraz counters with quiet confidence, his partnership with Jannik Sinner, the duo devouring ATP titles like appetizers, forming a wall. Of youth against world's veteran guile. But Rafter seals the narrative twist. Alcaraz is a weapon, he's someone who is at the top of his game right now, and him and Sinner are dominating a lot of the tournaments. This isn't mere trash talk, it's a psychological siege, testing if the Spaniard's vulnerability is real or ruse, as Friday's lineup drops and the Chase Center pulses with 18,000 fans hungry for drama. Our insider take. Team World banks on this taunt sparking doubt, flipping the format's no-ad tiebreak frenzy into chaos where one unforced error cascades. As Borg watches from afar, his ice-cool aura reminding all that Laver Cups thrive on such sparks, legends lighting fuses for the next generation's inferno. Dive deeper into the duel. Welcome to Tennis Insider, where we unpack Laver Cup lore with the precision of a Djokovic return, blending baseline battles with backcourt banter. Delving into the taunt's undercurrents, Pat Rafter's hope that Alcaraz hasn't recovered paints a vivid portrait of the phenom's whirlwind year, for majors by 22, Olympic gold in Paris, yet this Laver Cup marks his first team test post-US Open, where he dismantled Fritz 6-2, 7-5 in a Berlin clinic that sealed Europe's 5th title. Now, in San Francisco's fog-kissed arena, the event's West Coast debut, Agassi and Rafter orchestrate from the shadows, their chip charge a homage to grass-court relics adapted for hard-court havoc, urging de Minor's slice and volley to disrupt Alcaraz's rhythm. Compelling layers unfold. Alcaraz's backstory, from Murcia's clay courts to Wimbledon's center, forged resilience, but Rafter spots the seam, post-major blues, that elusive week off turning into a vulnerability when jet lag bites and celebrations linger. He calls it tough and brutal, acknowledging the Spaniard's serve-volley hybrid's flashing big three echoes, yet probing for cracks in endurance after 2025's 70-match marathon. Surprise ripples through pressers. Team World must nominate by Friday Eve, Europe dictating Saturday pairings, a reversal Sunday that could pit Alcaraz against Ben Shelton's booming lefty if momentum sways. Noah, the charismatic Frenchman, rallies with tales of his 1980s Davis Cup heroics, while Henman tempers with British grit, both eyeing Sinner's doubles pairing with Casper Ruud to buffer Carlos. Stats fuel the fire. Alcaraz's 85% first serve points won in finals, but dips to 72% in extended rallies, prime chip charge territory if world's net rushers pounce. Rafter's optimism blooms in the unknown. Anything is possible here, with two-set caps and super tiebreaks amplifying upsets, his Aussie larrikin charm masking a blueprint to neutralize the weapon. Fan frenzy builds online, memes of Agassi's deadpan delivery trending, while Fritz vows revenge, his 2024 near-miss fueling a personal vendetta. This taunt transcends jest, it's a legacy handoff. Legends like Agassi, who once chipped Sampras into submission, mentoring through mischief, testing Alcaraz's mettle amid the Laver Cup's electric format where points double daily, turning whispers into roars. As Saturday dawns, the narrative crests. Will vulnerability validate the vet's vision, or will Alcaraz volley back with vintage venom, etching another chapter in his ascent? The taunt's echo reverberates through San Francisco's Bayside buzz, where Agassi's chip charge evolves into a full-spectrum stratagem, World's playbook layering de Minor's angles with Fritz's firepower to corner Alcaraz in no man's land. Rafter elaborates in hushed tones, emphasizing recovery's riddle. After hoisting that sixth slam trophy amid confetti storms, has the kid truly reset, or does jet lag from New York to NorCal harbor hidden tolls? Storytelling grips tighter. Flash to Alcaraz's US Open coronation, a 5-set odyssey against Fritz where 48 winners mask the grind, now reprised on Laver's black canvas that amplifies every skid and spin. Legends lore infuses depth. Agassi's 1992 Wimbledon charge, Rafter's 1997 US Open slices, mirrored in their counsel, urging Shelton to bomb aces at Alcaraz's backhand, exploiting a 12% dip in return games post-long breaks. Yet, surprise simmers in Europe's depth. Sinner, the quiet assassin with 2025's Australian Open strap, pairs seamlessly, his flat ground strokes complementing Carlos's flair, while Ruud and Zverev add claycourt cutting to hardcourt haste. McEnroe, ever the provocateur, sides with world's barbs from his advisory perch, his "you cannot be serious." Echoing in jests that Alcaraz's youth breeds overconfidence, a vulnerability ripe for volleys. Data dissects the drama. Laver Cup 75% upset rate in deciding rubbers, where fatigue flips favorites. Alcaraz's stamina untested in team triage, his doubles debut last year a 6-4, 7-6 squeaker. Rafter's rallying cry. Let's hope he hasn't recovered, a cheeky prayer banking on parade hangovers dulling that explosive first step. Narrative arcs to inspiration. Alcaraz, mentored by Nadal's fire, channels the taunt into fuel, his presser poise. I love this team event, it's different pressure, betraying no cracks. As lineups lock, the Chase Center's 18,000 seats pulse with transatlantic tension, Borg's stoic nod from Europe's corner a silent vow of victory. This warning isn't warning, it's warfare's prelude, legends taunting to temper the titan, forging Laver Cup legend in every chipped return and charged net rush. Capping this Laver Cup saga, the legend's vulnerable volley at Alcaraz sets a stage ablaze. Will chip charge crumble the crown, or crown the kid anew? For more court-crushing breakdowns from San Francisco to slams, tune into Tennis Insider, your baseline to brilliance. Final forehand. If Alcaraz absorbs the taunt and triumphs, it's phenom folklore forever. Drop your matchup pick below. like for the legends, and subscribe.